Hey everybody, it's Dune. Everybody asks how to automatically add items to your player character on start and equip them if possible. I'm going to run through that. It's not easy, so that's why I'm going to create this video for that. Um, so we got our basic character. This is the AI testing map, and we got nothing on them. Get nothing, have nothing. All right, so we're going to want to open up the player character, and that's in flexible combat system, blueprints, player character. Okay, the first thing we're going to need is a variable on our player character, kind of like the chest. So, like if open up the map, we have our chest here, and they have default items, just like this. We're going to want to set it up so it uses the right data table, and then you know, quantity, and we can say, for instance, leather cloak. And then we save that and we run. Have a look. Should have a leather cloak in there. Actually, not sure why not, but uh, that's a story for another time. But that's what we're headed for. So all we have to do is add that, and if we want more, we can add quantity. So the item we want for that, or the structure, I kind of ran through this before, so we're going to create this variable s item. So we click this s item setup data. Okay. 13 items. Start as single, so you want to set it to an array. And then want to create a function called add starting items, or add, so how about starting items? We're going to hook that into the event graph, right actually where I was. So this is right at the initial setup, initialize player, come to the end, drag your add starting items here, hook that in. So by making a function, we have all the room within the function to play with. Okay, so next thing we need to do is with that list of items. So if we followed that through from the chess, I'm getting beeps in Discord. I am so sorry about that. I will. In the basic chess, it has a parent called container parent. So we're going to edit that. And then, so in the chess, we retrieve the container of information, retrieve that, and that is used in the inventory component right here. So this is if this is a player, it doesn't do any of this. What we want, and then this inventory data from the chest is passed down to here. So what I'm going to do is we want all this functionality. I'm going to say collapse to function. So we're going to that, and then we're going to do, the whole thing there is called set specific loot. Okay, so compile that back on the player character. We want to get our starting items. We also want to get our inventory component. I want to call set specific loot on all these items. That's going to load them in, but if we hit play here, it won't actually. Let's see if I can reply to this Discord. This is. Stop beeping me. All right, so we have that, but the player defaults, and we have this starting items array. So we can add, say for instance, that leather cloak. Okay, we'll start off with a quantity of 1. That's default, so we don't have to change anything there. We hit run, it won't actually show in our inventory, but if we that come out here where it's getting added, we hit run again, we can see that this item here is our leather cloak. Well, it says cloak of agility. I assume that's the leather cloak. Maybe I added the wrong one. Go back to player character. Defaults. Leather cloak. Just for instance, if I change that to hands, hit play, we'll see that this is now says hands, leather hands. So we are setting the right thing, but continue that inventory. It doesn't show on our character yet. So it's there. It's just it hasn't been refreshed. So back on our player character, we need to call the inventory component again. Let's kind of straighten some of this stuff up. I actually want to copy that node though. Stock, inventory, general. General is the stuff that's in your inventory that's not equipped. Take a look at this. This is in the inventory component, and it's just going to loop everything through the inventory data, and it's going to update the slot. That's what we want. Okay, so now we call this, now we run this. And we have those hands. Very good. Continue on. We want them to equip though. So back in the player character, next thing we want to do is we want to loop over our inventory and we want to find it. So our inventory is called inventory data. Get that value. It's an array, so we want to loop over that. So for each loop, sensitive, it's sometimes hard to grab things. Okay. And then each item that comes out of here, we want to make sure. So this is going to loop over the entire inventory, all 83 slots. General slots is like 1 to 63, I think. And then from there, it's another 14 slots of equipped items, including the potions. And we want to make sure that the quantity is greater than 0. You know, the empty slots will have. We could also check ID equals 0. I'm not 100% sure that works. I know quantity greater than 0 is good. And then we need to get the slot that needs to be updated. And the way to do that is first to the inventory component that will find the index in the inventory data array where the item is that we're passing in. Character, we have this slot here. Let's get the inventory component again. Could link all those together. I just find it messy. Find item data. So add in, and then we're hooking this into true because there's at least one quantity. And with that, we're going to look at the back here where we did restock general. This is also getting the data slots. This is update slot, but we're going to call it something else. So we need to call the inventory slots with that item with the index. Let's just drag off of this, but what's that called? Inventory slots. I'll get on that with this value. We want to make sure the slot is valid. Is valid. And we want the macro version. When it has a little question mark, it's still a macro. Because you can click into it and here's the macro for it. It's just calling the bool version into a branch. Simplifies it a little for us. Then with our slot, we can finally call use item. So the item, the slot itself, through the FCS does the use item, and it will call back to both the inventory component and the equipment component to equip that. So now we can run and we can see we have the fists equipped. Okay. See in the inventory as well, equipped. All right. And just to verify it works with weapons and a shield, we'll do a sword and a shield. So on our player character, on our defaults, we're going to add a couple more to this. So 1 and 2, we started with slot 0. Shield. Do a two-handed sword, you can't do a shield. And the weapon, magic ones, those are supposed to be for summoned items only. You could use it, but won't be properly set up for you. Okay, so now we should be running, and we have our sword and shield. And we can hit Q to put them in our hands, and we're all good and set to go. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Catch you later.